drugs to herbal drugs, which is fine. They give you all sorts of reasons that God created the plants and the orthodox drugs are made by white man. That's fine. So we take what God gave to us. And then they say to you, it's because the white man's drugs are chemicals. And then I asked them, so what's the herbal drugs made from? They said, it's God that made them. And I said to them, even you, the human being standing there, you're chemicals, you're a mixture of chemicals. We go to the basis of you, it's just chemistry that's working. So we need to understand that chemistry is very important. There's analytical chemistry as well, there's pharma, which is a big thing. Pharma industries are huge, they've got lots of money, and they've got lots of jobs as well. Forensics as well, and then there's general chemistry, there's sales in chemistry, there's innovation, you need to think. It's not just about knowing science, but you need to be able to analyze as well, have analytical thinking. So in choosing a career, one of the things that I would advise anyone to do is to, like I was saying, look out for what universities, but more importantly, read about the things that you hear about. So I spoke to some kids in Ghana about a year and a half ago. I was talking to some high school kids about careers, and I asked them, what do you want to do? One said, I want to be an aerospace engineer. He was less than 12 years old. And I said, wow, do you know what that is? He said, no. And I said, okay, so instead of you going to the internet and the cafe and playing games, search on the internet, what is aerospace engineering? Who's the world's first aerospace engineer? What are his challenges? What are the things that inform their choice? One of the kids said, I want to be a dentist. And I said, do you know why you want to be a dentist? He said, no. And I said, go on the internet and look out for what a dentistry is. Because it might be that you might not like the smell of people's mouths. And in that case, you will not be good at dentistry. Or you're someone who's scared by the black tooth, caca, which we used to call it down there. That's a big headache. So if you're like me, who doesn't like those things, then no, that's not something that's good for you. And you don't want to wait till you're doing the job, and then you realize, this is actually not good for me, I want to try British Got Talent. And then you're wasting brains. So these are some of the societies that you want to visit as well. That in the UK, find out what the career options are, what the particular courses are about. And obviously I'd want to highlight the British Toxicology Society. It's an amazing society. I love toxicology because there are not many people in the world that do toxicology. So I remember one of the inspirations I took was that when I was in my university, I found out about toxicology in final year, and I was like, why did you wait till final year? Because all along I was thinking of pharmacology, which is what every pharmacist wants to do, like every pharmacist wants to do pharmacology. Because pharmacology is basically, you take a drug, how does the drug work in the body, what does the body do to the drug, that's what pharmacology is about. And there's sort of chemistry and biology and physics that plays around in those areas. It's very exciting. And it helps you to know a lot of drugs and what they do and when to apply them. So pharmacists love to do pharmacology. But my lecturer was teaching toxicology. And I found that it was very complex. And I was saying to myself, wow, this is tough, talking about glutathione and structures and metabolism. And I was like, and everyone was saying, this is very difficult. And then he said, he's the only toxicologist in the whole of tech. And I said, wow, okay, you're not going to be the only person, I'm going to join you. Not because I understood what he was teaching, but like I was saying, it was difficult. And as I stand here among my mates, even among my seniors, I can count to about 5 years below, I think I'm the only one doing toxicology. And when I did my master's in toxicology, my friends from Ghana messaged me like, oh, I know you did a master's in public health, can you show me how to do it? I'm like, excuse me, I'm not doing public health, I'm doing toxicology. Because I'm very proud about it, very passionate about toxicology. So it's something I'm standing out for, and it's good because I know that I can get a job or I can be a good brain in that area. So we talk about biology. I'll do that quickly. We think that biology is all about animals. So I did my master's in the School of Biology. And there I found people doing masters in worms, fly, frog, chasing frogs, counting the number of frogs. And I'm like, what? I come from Ghana. In Ghana, we have to do something. See, that's the problem in Ghana. If you want to do something, you have to make sure that it works. If it doesn't work, the people are going to laugh at you, which is something that's very wrong. So these people are going about counting frogs and whatever they're going to do with it, only God knows. But at least they're counting frogs, with the aim of environmental issues, the impact of environmental pollution, on the number of frosts available in certain areas, and that is a good marker to tell you how the environment is being polluted. So you see, so many things are connected here. And I've got this slide on, it's not boring. You know, some people think that it's boring, it's not for me, it's not boring. If you love to swim, can I know the number of people that love to swim? Who knows how to swim here? I don't know how to swim. Oh, see, so you know how to swim. It's a good thing to do biology. You can go into the oceans, take pictures of organisms, you know, take samples, you can tell of the pollution level in the ocean, and you're going to come handy in some oil industry. So you see, that's going to be a lot of money coming from the oil industries as well. There's this guy saying, it's so much fun. If you love photography and you can combine that with your swimming talent or hobby, biology is a good thing for you to try. There's biological photography and imaging. We do that in this University of Nottingham. So these are samples of, this is, I think it's mitosis or meiosis, one of them, the spindle separation. And so what they've done is basically tag this process with some indicators. So we call some YF tagging, GFB tagging, green tagging, yellow tagging. And it's just a component that you treat the whatever organism it is with, and then they express this color in the area that this activity is expected to be seen. So it's very specific. And this is another thing to show to you that there's so many avenues in science. If you love photography, then you can equally go into biology and not think that, you know, biology is boring, because there's so many things you can do. I met a guy who's doing medical physics, and he did his PhD, works in the QMC. And obviously these areas don't have too many people there, so you get a lot of money, you get a lot of respect for what you're doing, you become a consultant, and you get to go high places. So you need to commit to reading, attention to detail, you need to be meticulous and have a habit of documentation, which is something that we lack as Africans. We don't like to write, we like to talk, but you need to learn to put things down. That is very important. And again, some of the careers, pharmacology, you can do anatomy, you can do physiology, you know, medicine, nursing, chemistry, genetics is a very important topic recently, because everything is all about genetics. And we go on pharmacy now. I'm going to talk to you about pharmacy as a profession. So like I was saying earlier on, pharmacy is not just about counting drugs or talking to patients. The pharmacy is also about the industry and research and development. There's so many areas in pharmacy: chemistry, organic chemistry, medicinal chemistry, synthesis. And the pharma industry benefits from these experts a lot. There's academia, there's regulatory affairs. So whenever a drug is made, it needs to be tested. And when it's been tested, there's a body, a regulatory body, that makes sure that the drug works properly and that it doesn't exceed its boundaries. So safety issues, efficacy, and basically regulating how the drug is used in the system. And that's an area that pharmacists go into. Pharmacists go into public health and journalism as well. Pharmacists, one of the key areas is hospital and community practice, which is what we always see. We've got consultancy and toxicology and pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is basically about drug safety and patient safety. And pharmacists are experts in these areas. Clinical trials, as I mentioned, again, to do with drug development and pharmaceutical marketing and management. So we have, most of these pharma companies have sales reps. And if you're a pharmacist and you're a sales rep, it's a big plus to you because you can promote your product very well, being a technical person. And again, one of the things I would want to stress here is that dispensing technology is not the same as pharmacy. So in the pharmacy, in a typical community pharmacy, we have pharmacists, then we have dispensing technicians, and then we have assistants. In Ghana, we call them medical accounting assistants. Yeah. So the assistants and the technicians, they're in that order. So it's the assistant, technician, and pharmacist. The technician and the assistant, they do all the counting of the drugs. They do, they do all the jobs around. The pharmacist is definitely the expert person in that facility. And so if you want to aim for something and you want to aim for the top, instead of being a technician. Because if you were a dispensing technologist, one of the things I found out recently is that the UK has been trying to get machines that dispense drugs. So if a patient, robots, so if a patient gets a diagnosis from the clinic, they can just go to the machine, feed that in, and then they get their drugs. And these technicians and assistants, we see them as experts and very accurate people in terms of knowing how many drugs are put in this sachet or in whatever it is. And the pharmacist does all the consultation with the patients. But if that job is going to be taken over by a robot, then obviously, that job is going to go extinct. Like I've said earlier, the pharmacists are scientists in all areas. Job market is wide and they're well respected. I've got a short video on biomedical science that I'll show you. And I hope that it's not coming to sound. Okay, so I think the sound's not working, but I'll just go on. She's just talking about biomedical science and the facilities in the University of Nottingham for biomedical science, microbiology, and all the other areas that, as a biomedical scientist, you can explore. And